yeah, with that, why don't we move over to Jason?
All right. So, well, it hasn't fully come out yet at this point, but I have a new character. So those lucky on we're live, right? Yeah.
No, we're not live.
No,
Oh,
no,
we're
no,
not
no,
live.
no,
Just
no. This
recording.
is being recorded. We're going to
My man
we're
has
gonna
thought we're
post
live.
this.
Jason's thought we
Hey,
were live
look.
the whole time.
I'm just
Imagine.
fucking rolling with it.
Imagine. Now we keep that part in.
Yeah, that's staying in.
Well,
Good
okay,
to
so
know
yeah,
Jason doesn't watch the live stream when we live stream.
Truly wild.
Damn,
Look, I had it up the
this
last
whole thing
time.
was a ruse to out you for it.
I had it up the last time. It is late and it's been a long fucking week.
Wait,
Yeah.
you watched us play Marvel
man.
Rivals?
January's
No.
been 4 years long.
Yeah,
It
right.
has been 4 years long.
All
Yeah,
right,
well,
so
spoiler alert. So there's a new character.
yeah, so I had built Geverax in 2014, way back when, as a backup character for actually another game. And when I knew that Zelda was probably coming to the end of her time in the party, I already updated Geverax. Yeah, whatever. She's fucking done with this shit.
And just to put it out there, because we're just spoiling that Jason has a new character, Zelda didn't die.
No,
We're also not spoiling because we're gonna release this
later.
right after that episode where he played Geverax in for about 30 minutes.
Yep.
So we're not putting this
I don't
episode out for like 2 months.
Yeah.
It gives
I thought
Casey
that was
plenty of time to edit.
There you
I don't
go.
know. We'll figure it out because we did mention
Yeah,
when we would
But
be doing
just
this
in
recording.
case it does
No.
come out before that,
Yeah.
Zelda's not dead.
Spoiler. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
Zelda's not dead. She is
We'll put
retired.
timestamps of the recording of the spoiler recording. Though if
Yeah.
you're listening to this, you've already been spoiled. So here we
Right.
are.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, so when I made the decision for Zelda to become an NPC, I already went ahead and remade Gev in 2024, just so I had both options depending on which direction we decided to take. So let's see. One of the biggest things, because I can kind of still talk about the update and the changes that were made, even though he was not a character beforehand. One of the biggest things is I am still a sorcerer warlock split, but I am not the same subclasses as I once had picked. Originally, he was going to be a divine soul sorcerer hexblade split, but when I started looking at the update, the biggest thing that I really wanted from hexblade was the AC. Hexblade gets some other good stuff, but I could take back to the blade. Yeah, medium armor and shield. I was going to be wearing medium armor and using a shield to get my AC up. And because I wanted him to be a melee fighter with some spells. Like that's been his whole character concept since fruition. And looking at the new updates, I obviously, him being an Asmar, still wanted him to have that connection to the gods, and I really, really loved the aspect that Malik brought to the whole thing with the connection to the gods within our party. So I didn't want to lose that. So what I did is I switched over to Celestial Warlock and Dragon Sorcerer. Which nets me the same AC as medium armor and shield without having armor. Gets me all the same combat prowess that I was looking for, but really changed the kind of feel for Geverax. Still kept the celestial connection, the gods, and all of that. Because not only does he have a warlock patron, but it is a celestial warlock patron, so it is straight up from the gods, his power. But it also opened up this whole other side of Geverax. It's his entire existence is not tied to the gods. He also has that dragon connection that he has no fucking clue where it came from, and that's going to be so much fun to explore in game.
So, are you, with the changes that they made to Sorcerer and Warlock, and basically everyone, where they get their subclasses at level 3, are you doing Sorcerer to 3 first, or are you doing Warlock to 3 first?
I'm Sorcerer 3 right now, and again, spoiler if this comes out beforehand, but I think due to the circumstances of the last almost 40 years of his life being stuck, his sorceress, his innate powers started blossoming during that time, where his warlock powers were kind of suppressed within this prison. And so I went ahead and took sorcerer to 3 for mechanical reasons, but also it made sense for the story too. But I am basing after level 6, next level, I'm taking Warlock 3. From there, I am basing each one of his level ups on where we're at in the story. Is he leaning more Warlock? Is he leaning more Sorcerer? And I don't care if the split is like OP or not. I don't care if it's optimized. I am going to level him up based on what actually makes sense for the story, not mechanically. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Interesting.
And the cool thing about that too is now you have a mechanical tie to whether or not we get closer to the gods or to the other side of it too. Like that narrative drive of pretty much what our whole campaign has been so far is tied to your character.
Yes and no. I mean, Geverax is of the gods. He is an Azamar. He has a celestial patron, but he is not a friend of the gods, and he never has been. That's why he's on this mortal plane to begin with. And that'll all come out in game. But like, there is a tie, absolutely, but also he's definitely not on the side of the gods for sure. So it's like, is his patron using him or is he using his patron? Yeah, the age-old warlock kind of thing. But it's like, well, I'm going to draw power from you as long as you allow me to. And I'm going to do with that power what I deem is right. And what I deem is right is fuck the gods. So see what happens, you know?
And with that split that you've gone with, I know that limits some of the cool features on both sides. Like what kind of spells? What was your spells choice selection based on this? Looking into it.
Yeah, so I am level 5, but I do not have 3rd level spells yet.
You actually don't even have 3rd level spell slots.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I can't cast 3rd levels of anything. I have 6 1st level spell slots though, 2 of which reset on a short rest, which is nice. And I have 2 2nd levels. So, but as I said earlier, Geverax is much more of a martial character with spellcasting supplement at the moment than he is a spellcaster with martial supplement. Taking Pact of the Blade from the get-go gives him a lot more prowess. Having a higher AC from his Dragon Sorcerer side allows him to get it up in the mix without as much fear of getting hit and hurt. But I did take I get from my Dragon Sorcerer a lot of the control spells. I have Charm Person, I have Command, I took Mask of Many Faces, so I have Disguise Self at will. I have Hex from the Warlock side, the debuff. And his dragon side, and we'll get into this more when we record next, but he is he's on the blue dragon spectrum. He's what's the color that I picked? I can't remember, but it's like it's purple, but he's in the blue. dragons. So he's got some electricity spells. He's got Witch Bolt. He also has some fire spells in Burning Hands, and I took Misty Step, Scorching Ray, trying to do some
staples, yeah.
yeah. Trying to do some different stuff from Zelda. I'm going from a spellcaster to a spellcaster, but I am trying to change the spell selection somewhat, at least. And of course, I took Shield because I'm wading into battle, but
You don't need that with the way I roll.
yeah, well, that's fair. That's good because I can just save all 6 of my first level spell slots. And actually, Casey, I wanted to run something by you that I've heard other actual plays do.
Are you gonna do this to me while we're live?
If we don't, unironically,
to our live audience, chat, should Jason do this?
Chat.
Yeah,
Call
yeah,
in
yeah.
if you should do this.
Yeah.
I
Drop a
was
frog in the chat.
I was thinking because I want to get away from the I want to get away from the cold aspect of Zelda, and so I have Armor of Agathis, but I was wondering if we could make that electricity damage instead of cold damage.
No, absolutely not. It would completely unbalance the game and ruin
would.
everyone's immersion and
Now,
enjoyment of our podcast.
In all fairness, if I hit level 6 sorcerer, it will make a difference. So I'm giving you all the facts. But
I truly don't care.
Okay. I just I think that would be fun, and it will, because he also kind of has a theme. I mean, fire, radiant, electricity. Like he's really honing in on those types of spells.
Jason has gone
really
from one element
theme
to 3 element.
Big themes there.
Yep. It makes sense. With his subclasses.
We love a good theme.
Yep.
So
Themes.
So yeah, those are a few of the spells. I'm not going to go through every single one, but those are a few of the spells that I've taken. Let's see. Let's go to. So for my background, I picked Charlatan. To be a lot of fun. I get some extra skills with the skilled feat. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 skill proficiencies as a warlock, which is
about
really
7.
fun. About 7.
And did you go with the skill that, like when you were picking skills, did you say, let me look and see what everyone else has and kind of fill in, or just said,
Nope.
I'm gonna do exactly me and only me?
I'm gonna do me. But also, I mean, I did think about it a little bit. Like, I no longer have a negative strength score like I did with Zelda. So I took athletics because I thought that would be fun. I do have a negative intelligence score, so I did not take any intelligence skills.
Can you just go ahead and read out that intelligence score for the class?
That's a 7. I went from a 20 to a 7.
It's you never played like you had a 20. Let's be real.
Yeah.
As
But
a
I
fellow
don't
He did it
7,
for his 2-hit.
That's true. As a fellow 7 who took athletics so they would get a flat roll on an athletics check, I feel you.
Yeah, well, I have my strength score is a 13, so I do have a +1, so I have a +4 in athletics taking it.
Nice.
I took insight and perception because of story reasons. His job, I guess, I don't know. He's been trapped for almost 40 years, but his job previously to being trapped required some good insight and situational awareness. I did take
Was he
persuasion.
on paid leave or was this unpaid leave?
No, he has not been getting paid in the mirror world. Surprise! Shocking.
That's
Shocking.
We'll have to
That's
find out
getting
on the next
paid?
episode.
This man's he's been working for free?
There might
No,
be
he
some
hasn't been
equity. We'll have to
working.
find that out.
Yeah, so I took persuasion and deception. Did not take intimidation. He would rather he's got the charlatan background. He'd rather like schmooze somebody over than like scare them. So he took that. And he also has stealth and sleight of hand, also tied to his job. So I picked all the skills mostly based on story reasons for his background within this world. Yeah, I mean, let's see.
Any other cool invocations? Because I think you get a couple at 2, right?
Yeah, so I have 3 invocations. I have Mask of Many Faces, so disguise self at will. I took Pact of the Blade, so I can conjure my weapon very much like Mish does. Although I think you can't conjure heavy weapons, correct?
I could if I chose. There's a specific the weapon I've been flavoring just conjuring any weapon. It's just the cantrip itself does a D10. That's all.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I actually summon the weapon, so they do the damage that the weapon would normally do. And because I have a 13 strength, I can summon heavy weapons. I can summon anything I want, pretty much, except ranged weapons. So there's that.
Can you still
Also,
bond to ranged weapons? Because I knew that was a weird one.
Yes, but if I bond, then I can't summon anything else but the bonded weapon. So there's a trade-off with that, right?
I mean, luckily it's only an action now, right?
A bonus action. And I mean, yeah, but if I summon something else, then the bond breaks, and it's a whole mess. We'll see. If we get some cool weapons, maybe I'll bond to one. But right now, he's very fluid in everything he does. Nothing is set in stone with Geverax. His appearance is fluid. His weapons are fluid. Even his third invocation, Pact of the Chain, his familiar is fluid. It almost never takes the same shape twice in a row, but it does kind of it comes and goes. The spirit of this familiar is the same, but they tend to take on different form each time that I summon him. Also, with Pact of the Blade, I can deal normal damage or necrotic, psychic, or radiant damage if I so choose. So that is pretty big upgrade, I think, to that.
Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, with all the changes they're happening to monsters, it looks like it's gonna be really nice because like wholesale, they're already wholesale getting rid of the magic weapon reduction on the classic bludgeoning, piercing, slashing.
Yeah,
so,
and making it just bludgeoning, piercing, slashing, whether it's magical or not. So being able to change that to not one other type, but one of 3.
It allows you a lot of versatility.
Absolutely. So I'm very much looking forward to messing around. I mean, I've play tested a higher level warlock, and it's a lot of fucking fun, truly.
Heck yeah.
So, but I think the biggest thing that I'm excited about is no longer is the Sorlock like meta going to be 2 warlock and 18 sorcerer. You can kind of split it almost wherever and really make a good character. So even when we were playing in 2014, I had the idea of leveling up based on story, and it was going to be so much less optimized in 2014, which I was fine with. I mean, it's all about the story, really. But in 2024, it is less optimized, sure, but nowhere near as bad as it could have been at, like, say, a 10-10 split in 2014. I would have just been gimping myself back and forth. But, yeah, so that's what I got.
Were there any changes to Azamar?
Yes, actually, I think, but I don't remember what they were.
The biggest one is you no longer pick a sub race that you're fixed with. You can now pick it every time you use your Celestial Revelation feature.
Yeah, so I get a Celestial Revelation once a long rest. And like Snyder said, instead of picking one at character creation, I can pick which of the three every time I use it. So that's cool. It gives me a little bit more versatility there, and truly just adds to the theme of Gevrax being whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and the fluidity of his nature. You know, it's a really big part of who this character is, and we'll definitely find out more about that in game because it ties to a lot of stuff within the world. But yeah, that's I think the really only real thing that I got. I mean, I still have healing hands. I still know the light cantrip.
The revelation thing is going to be really cool to see, like, how you interpret that, because like if you do one of them gives you wings, right? And
Heavenly
so, like,
wings. Yep.
We call that one Red Bull.
But does that manifest in celestial wings? Does it manifest as draconic wings? Like, there's so many ways you could use that to then tie into everything too.
Well, and here's the thing with his nature, Porque los nos dos. I mean, you know,
one dragon, one celestial,
or that. But I mean, he uses this once a day. Who's to say that today's casting is the same as tomorrow's? You know,
exactly. One wing.
And that is his whole, like, his whole personality is that he doesn't actually have a set personality. He doesn't have a set look. He doesn't have a set anything because he doesn't know who the fuck he is when everything is said and done. So
chameleon.
It's so funny. This is truly the most Jason character where there's nothing that is nailed down.
No, that's the funny thing.
Eric is throwing praise today, man.
I've
been holding myself.
No.
Don't worry, I've been thinking it.
But here's the funny thing about it is all of these choices are 1,000% nailed down. I have thought so long and so hard about all of the choices that he has and the fluidity that he's gonna go through, that like his choices in his mind, in the character's mind, he has no clue. Me, I know what I'm doing.
Exactly. And that's what I'm meaning by it being a Jason character.
Fair enough.
Talking some shit.
Yeah, he's on a roll tonight. Save it for the fucking record.
This is a record. That's why it's coming out.
It's a record, brother.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I
Chat, am I being too mean to him?
Yes.
Yeah,
Put a frog in chat. Put a frog in chat if he's being too mean.
Let us
Killer
know.
Fox, am I being too mean?
We cannot throw them under the bus when they're not even home.
But yeah,
where's the bus?
Back there, where you're throwing them.
I think that's everything that changed, all the interesting stuff for Gevrax.
That's right, because you with the way you went, you don't have a feat yet. You didn't have.
Nope.
Oh,
I just have the skilled feat from the background. Because this character came in late, I didn't get the starter feat from the beginning. So yeah, he's got some items that our gracious DM allowed, which I still have to decide which one. But I know where I'm leaning.
With how cool the new items are, that arguably might be better than the random starter feats we got.
Well, yeah,
They weren't random.
They weren't.
Well, no. They were all very, very curated, but it's more along the lines. They were mostly flavor.
Yeah, they were level 1 feats.
Yeah. But yeah,
All right.
that's all I got, and.